Yo,
Yo,
what's up?
what's going on, man?
Just enjoying this beautiful Sunday.
Yeah, man, my laptop got really loud for some reason. Um, so your parents are down in Florida?
Yeah.
Lucky them.
Uh, they've been married for a long time. They've been together since they were 14 years old. So when they're 60,
Wow,
they're 65, and I think they got married when they were 20.
that's
So
crazy.
yeah, like 45 years they've been married. So they always take all these little trips all the time where like they'll go down the Cape or then they'll go like up to, Maine, or they'll go to New Hampshire or Florida or whatever. They always take time to spend it with each other, which is good. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, I'm not even gonna wait for people night because I figure Mother's Day will make it a little shorter than usual, maybe like an hour.
All right, yeah.
Um, but did you watch the live stream?
Of the New York Pro. I mean
Oh,
the Pittsburgh Pro.
yeah.
No, I didn't get a chance to because my little sister did her first show yesterday. So I was doing Ashlyn was like running around doing the makeup and the tan for her. I was there making sure that she had everything going on. We were
That's
both
right. That's right. Before we jump into Pittsburgh, then how'd she do? How'd she like it?
She loved it. So she got second place in True Novice. And then Novice was like the biggest class, had like 8 or 9 girls in it. She got, I think, fourth in that one. And then the open class with like 5 or 6 girls, she got second in.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah. So she's on cloud 9 right now.
That's a great first showing. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. She practiced like her walkout like months and months in advance. Would always send Ashley and I videos and everything, and she posed really well. Jose Raymond and Justin Randall were judging, and they were like, "Dude, she looked fantastic." So
That's awesome.
need to build up like her back a little more and her shoulders, just because her legs are big.
Yep.
But she just needs like those really capped shoulders with figure, how it goes. But I was looking at all the pictures and stuff from Pittsburgh. So, and I was going back and I was watching a bunch of the different clips and everything, all the different, I mean, there's so much media and footage out there on like Instagram. And yeah, I was just watching all of that stuff. So,
yeah. What's up, sir?
Gentlemen, what's going on?
Sean, what's up, bud?
Chris, I love the little cat dance today on your little Instagram.
Yeah, I love my cats so much, and they're mostly indoor cats. But whenever like Ash and I go sit outside, like we just got some patio furniture for our back patio, so we've been sitting outside a little bit more on that, and we just have the cats come out and they run around and stuff, but they don't really go off the reservation too bad. And yeah, so I was just had Kamari, and we're just dancing around, just having fun. So,
dude, was that your girl's first show?
My that was my sister's.
Oh, your sister, was that her first show?
Yeah. Yep.
Congrats, dude. Congrats to you. Congrats to her.
Yeah. Thank you very much, man. Yeah. She loved it. She can't wait. She can't wait to do another one again. Like, she always used to do like competitive dancing. So she had always tons of dance recitals since she was like 3 years old. So being on stage isn't new to her. She did gymnastics as well. And she's always been a phenomenal, like, soccer player. Like she started varsity as 8th grade, she got into a D1. She got into Notre Dame for college for D1, but never went because she's just like, your whole schedule revolves around soccer. And she's only like 5'1". She's tiny. So she's like, I'm not going to be a pro soccer player. They don't make much money anyways. I want to enjoy college. So she ended up going to Emerson and got a huge scholarship there, was captain of the team, got MVP. And she misses that competitiveness. So she needs something to kind of put her energy in. And she loved it. She loved it. She loved doing it so much. And she's already excited to like get going into like a real off season, following a structured reverse diet. And she can't wait to do the next one. I mean, she absolutely loved it up there. And it was so good to see. It's just cool knowing that like, like my younger sister now does it, just like Ashlyn has a younger brother by like 14 months, he competes as well. So it's pretty cool.
You guys got a whole family.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You know,
Dude, and you coaching her?
I coached her. Yeah. Yep.
Wow,
Ashlyn actually did her tan and makeup, which was awesome. And I coached her, did the training, did the diet, everything. So it
Good
was
for you, man. It gets tough, as Mike knows. You know, you don't want to mix coaching with family and friends, but good for you guys.
No, she just executed. Like she never complained once. She never once missed a meal. Like when she was starting to get hungry, she's like, I fucking love this shit. She's like, I like it. So she enjoyed the whole process. And that right there it actually got me fired up to train today, because you see people that are just doing it for like just the love of it, not trying to win or anything like that. She just loves it, and she taught her a lot about herself. And it was cool watching like her whole mindset transform while she was doing this. So
you don't want to keep her lean for Rhode Island in a couple of weeks. Have a Trish jump into something so quick.
Well, like obviously she did the NPC natural, so she's natural. So she'll be going up against women that are enhanced, for the most part. And she probably could do that if we wanted to, but I think we're gonna just get her to start growing. Because she lost about 30 something pounds for this. So, yeah. It was good.
Sorry, Mike, I hijacked your podcast.
With that? No, that's fine.
Hijacked your podcast.
Thank you.
Actually, Ashlyn and I saw your girl, Shay.
Yeah.
She was down there.
Yeah, she was there with a client.
Yep. Yeah.
It was her first NPC show as well.
It was an awesome show.
I heard it was really good.
Like the venue was incredible. The rooms weren't like super expensive, even with like the room block that they had for the competitors and everything. Great, stage was nice. It was like, in a hall, like an expo hall or whatever. And it was just plenty of parking, like awesome.
I'm really glad to see the NPC like having this route for natural competitors. I think it's such a smart idea and venture by them.
Yeah,
it's good.
But what's the logistics on it? Are they testing just the winners? They doing blood and urine, or what are they doing? Or are they doing that?
Well, I think they adopted the same rules. So I know my sister, we had to get her up there early on Friday because she had the polygraph test.
Okay.
And usually, I don't know. I know like how OCB and stuff used to do it is the winners of each class would have to do a drug test. Yeah. And they always would like pick like a couple people to random drug test.
Yeah.
Just random ones. Because I remember when I did OCB, I got every show I did, I got randomly drug tested every time. So
random
my ass. Yep. Like, yeah, get him. We'll get him one of these days. Never.
John, did you watch the live stream yesterday at all?
I didn't. I was bopping around all over. I was just consistent Instagram every couple of hours.
Yeah. Well, let me pull up some pictures. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
I'm behind on meals today, so.
And that's the other thing too. So I'm gonna talk being cheap here. Is obviously I didn't want to pay the $30, and like everybody says, that you can't compare a stream versus being in live. Like if it was free, I'd watch it, but
yeah.
Even with the streams though, it's like you need to like when you're there in person. There's even with like the crazy cameras and stuff they have now, it does not translate in person. You know what I mean? But I mean, there were a shitload of people that I know that were at the show.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah, the consensus kind of seemed to be the same across the board.
This was probably the first like placing where, I mean, everyone that was even at the show were just, we're saying that, Nick kind of got screwed.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you
sorry, what?
I was because there was a vote. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
I was going to say that seemed to be the overwhelming consensus last night on the bodybuilding Instagram.
Yeah, one of the grams, but I don't know if it was this IG or somebody put a voting up like during the show at the end of the show, and they said that they had Nick by like 60-40 or something ridiculous.
No, it was more than that. It was like, I think it was 83-17.
Maybe you're right, yeah, but it was overwhelming though for Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was interesting. Right before I hopped on the podcast today, I was looking at the scoreboard, the scorecard, and so Nick was actually beating Derek in prejudging. So Nick got 7 points, and then I think Derek got 8. And then in the finals, Derek got 7, Nick got 8. So they were both tied at 15 points. And then Sid Ray posted this, and I'm looking at it right now. It says, anyone else remember ties being broken by relative scoring, where the person who wins the finals wins the show if there is a tie? So if that is an actual rule, I mean, I never heard of that at all. But if that is in fact a rule, I can see why Derek got the tie. But I mean, I didn't even think it, even Derek's back shots weren't overpowering Nick's, and Nick had better, like, the thickness in his hamstrings and adductors and stuff. I mean, this was the best Nick Walker I think we've ever seen.
For sure.
What's
happening, Doug?
What's going
Man
on,
of the
fellas?
hour.
Speaking of competitors that were at Pittsburgh, there he is.
Sir.
What's going on?
What's going on, Doug?
Ain't nothing much, man. Just getting back in the crib.
Dude,
How
what
you
did you
feeling?
weigh? What did you weigh on stage?
Probably like 220. I know I woke up like around
You look
219.
huge.
Yeah,
Huge.
thank
Like
you.
huge. Like you were, I forget who you were posing next to in one of the, I don't know if it was like the group walkouts or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But I'm just like I know that guy outweighed you by a lot, but like you looked just as big as that guy was. And I'm just like,
Thank
dude,
you.
you look massive, man. And
Thank
conditioning
you.
was good. Legs were crazy.
Appreciate
Yeah, man.
appreciate it. Yeah, I was happy with the showing. It was just insane to just be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, from idolizing these guys not too long ago, you know what I'm saying, to just being out there, man. It was an incredible experience. One that I'll never forget, just being on stage while you guys are watching, the stream and stuff like that. Like, I'm on the stage listening to them talk, you know what I'm saying, banter back and forth. You know what I'm saying? That was it was a cool experience. I appreciate it, man. It's nerve-wracking though, right? Because most people don't understand, like, all I cared about when I got off stage, I wanted to see what the fuck I looked like up there next to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool though, man. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited for the New York this weekend coming up.
Doug, you're on stage with 4 top 4 Olympians, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
hell, kudos to you, brother.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was crazy, man. And then getting to meet the guys backstage, being in that athlete meeting, and it was all surreal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Chop it up with Papa Bonic?
What's that?
Chop it up with Bonic? Sit you a mini Bonic?
Yeah. That's what people used to call me when I first started, when I first started bodybuilding, you know what I'm saying? When I was the light heavy.
So, yeah, that's who you were standing next to Bonac. That's the that was the thing. I'm like, dude, you were holding your own right next to him.
Yeah, man, and you know what's crazy? He's a bubbly motherfucker, bro. Like,
yeah,
like muscle belly's crazy. You understand? Like, I mean, it's cool to see. It's cool to see in person, man. I always say, man, we be on here looking at pictures and videos, man. It does no justice to seeing it in person, because I heard you guys talking about Nick before.
Yeah.
I mean, being there, I had Nick winning. I
think everyone did.
Yeah, no shade towards Derek. They both looked unreal. I mean, and you flip a coin, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's bodybuilding for you, But it was to see them battle it out, and how Nick makes those improvements aesthetically.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy to see, bro. Like, you understand? Like, I had Nick winning. Derek ended up pulling it off, which is nuts. So now he's going for the Triple Crown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Nick's gonna do New York. Yeah.
It's like, that's like, it's an exciting time for bodybuilding, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
like it. I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Nick got to qualify, so I think he's going to New York next week. I don't know.
Yeah, I
like it, though.
believe he's going to New York.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you a couple of questions, Doug. First off, do you know what happened to Crizzo and the other competitor right before finals?
So they had the lineup. So it wasn't supposed to go bodybuilding first when we came back from the break. It was supposed
Okay.
to go men's physique. So if they were looking at the itinerary, then they wasn't rushing to be there at 6. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think that's what happened. Because I don't know if they communicated that well with everybody there, because a couple of them guys do not speak English, and
Yeah.
they know how to say I don't speak English, and they don't say nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And that was cool too, getting to meet some of the guys from Brazil, the UK. There's people from everywhere coming over here trying to win that 100 grand. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say like it's cool to see. But yeah, I think that's what went wrong, because it was Crizzo and the one dude Powell who
Yeah.
who were late, but they let him in because, like I said, I think that was just a simple mistake. They switched the lineup at the last minute. I don't think that they knew that.
Gotcha. Because Steve was heated on the live
Yeah.
stream. I just heard him go. It was like, "All right, forget it. They're scratched. They're in last place now." And he like yelled it. And I was like,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah.
Wow. He's upset. And then the Fuad and Ian were kind of talking, and those two came out on stage, and then he worked them back into the lineup. But
Yeah.
yeah, us at home, we had no idea. I think everybody's just hoping nobody, got
Yeah.
hurt or had
Yeah.
some type
No.
of
Yeah. No.
problem.
No. They were both fine. I think that was just a miscommunication on the competition, and them understanding when they needed to be back for the second half.
Gotcha. Now, my second thing is, I'm gonna talk about it again, bro. You're most muscular.
Dude.
You have zero daylight getting through. If they put a sun behind you, it would be an eclipse.
Thank you.
There is nothing getting through, from the
Thank you.
quad sweep to the shoulders to the arms. And
Thank you.
then as soon as you squeeze down on it, everything just pops. Like I said, second only to maybe Nick's most muscular up there.
Thank
So
you.
yeah,
I
very,
appreciate
very impressive shot. So yeah, let's Derek won. We kind of an interesting decision there. I guess not everybody's with it. What do you guys think was the thing that pushed Derek over the edge? Does anybody have any
No,
thoughts
I'm
out
waiting to see
here?
what Tyler's gonna say. You know what I
My
mean?
guess, my guess
Like,
is Tyler's going to say that Derek had better shape and structure. That's what I think he's going to go with, because that's the only thing I can honestly think he would say.
Yeah.
Because like you can't say that Nick was not as conditioned as Derek.
yeah.
You can't say that Derek out muscled him.
Yeah.
I mean, is he going to blame it on like no one's tan was screwed up? It's
Right.
like, like, and if you go pose for pose, I want to hear the pose for pose breakdown. I want to
Me too.
see.
Because as dominant as Derek is from the back, I'm going to be honest, watching, Nick was beating him in his best shots.
Exactly. So if he can beat Derek in his best shots, like how the hell did Nick not win? And that's what everyone
Yeah.
else is saying.
It was a head scratcher for a lot of people. You understand? Like, it was a head scratcher, man. Like I said, for myself, it was a head scratcher for me. I felt like, Derek's already qualified, Marty's already qualified. I think Bonak's already qualified. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, Nick, in the way Nick came in, and Nick's looking for that next impactful win. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wants to add that to his resume because he's had some injuries and some things that slowed him down these past couple years. And that's what I tell people too, man. It's like everybody's bodybuilding journey is different, man. Like it's so hard to like, and that's what makes it difficult when you don't win is you can do every fucking thing right to the fucking T, and you can just come up that fucking short, and you still have to be able to maintain your composure. You still have to be able to stay focused and go get the next one. You know what I'm saying? Because now, especially since they took the qualification by points away, you got to win to get in. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's why sometimes a lot of bodybuilders will take some time off, you know what I mean? Because it's hard to do multiple shows year after year without risking something. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. So, I know Nick is pissed. I know Marty was pissed. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're doing everything in your control and in your power. And until show day, and so let me just say this. This is why you don't always look at the internet before shows. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to come in correct on show day, and, I don't know if people had Derek winning. I felt like it was going to be out of Nick and Marty.
Yeah.
But it ended up being out of Nick and Derek because Derek showed the fuck up. And that's the name of the game in bodybuilding too. You understand? Like he's that caliber bodybuilder. He just took out Samson.
Yeah.
This is what's interesting though, because this is going to make the Olympia really, really. This is probably going to be one of the best Olympias ever because, Derek beat the reigning Mr. Olympia at the Arnold, and then now Nick pushed him to a straight up tie at 15 points and 15 points on the scorecard. And I mean, anyone. It's funny because everyone loves to bash Nick. Tell him to like, oh, you should retire, because what he won the Arnold Classic so many times and like he's like a top 5 Olympian every show he's done. And he should retire because what he can't beat somebody. And then all of a sudden he shows up just looking like this, completely morphed, best Nick walk you've ever seen. And now everyone's riding his dick again. And it's one of those things where now that the Olympia this year is going to be real interesting.
Yeah.
And then especially when you throw Hottie in the mix, it's like, okay, this Nick Walker, I think, could beat Hottie. No problem.
For sure.
There's new blood. And, I think that a lot of people are here for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, with all due respects to Hottie, Bonac, Brandon Curry, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's new blood coming in. And your boy Derek is out here like a shark. You understand? Like he did the Arnold and said, fuck it, I'm jumping into Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? And knocked that out. So I don't know what else he's going to do next. I would think he's going to shut it down for the Olympia.
He should, just so his body's fresh.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, and Derek did look phenomenal. I'm not taking anything away from him. I just thought, and it seems like everyone else, I just thought Nick just looked that much better. I mean, conditioning, muscularity, it's, it was impressive to watch. And, Martin got third. Martin looked fantastic too.
Yeah. You know what the shitty part about, I don't want to say shitty part, but like, so Derek has this win at the first Pittsburgh with the Open ever. It's controversial. I'm not the biggest Derek fan. I've never met the guy. He's never wronged me.
Mm-hmm.
Just some certain things. I don't know how I feel about him. That's neither here nor there. But to have such a victory in a close one, controversially like that, I'm sure he's getting a lot of hate today. And it's not even his fault. You know what I mean? Like this guy brought the package he was trying to bring to win, and he won. And unfortunately, because it was so close and they went with a specific decision, it's almost like everybody's against him right now to some degree. from just doing what he's supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the weird duality of bodybuilding. It's like sometimes you do everything you can to be the best you can, and everybody still doesn't. Nobody cares, you know.
Yeah.
I know none of us on here would ever hate, or get aggressive or be mean or malicious towards a bodybuilder just because they wanted the judging to go that way. But I mean, I'm sure if Derek is getting any, flack for this, and hopefully he's not. I mean, it's certainly not going to compare to when he beat Hottie. I mean, there were people like threatening his family.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude.
But I mean, to do what he's to do. So correct me if I'm wrong, though. I mean, to do what he's done in bodybuilding is unprecedented. Meaning, I remember when he turned pro, he won USA, then he jumped into Tampa Pro, won that.
I remember that.
Then he jumped on a 212 stage at the Olympia and placed top 5 his first time there.
Yeah.
To the point where it was like, what the fuck just happened? You understand? Like, I remember when he did that, and me explaining to people like that shit does not happen.
Yep.
And like people like him make people think bodybuilding is easy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because then remember too, he hit his rough patch in that 212 because it was eluding him for a little while, but he just stayed consistent. Boom, gets his first 212. You know what I'm saying? And then now he's in the open, and he's got the opportunity to win the Triple Crown, the 3 biggest bodybuilding shows in the United States.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like if he does that, I mean, I can't go as calling him like the GOAT or anything like that, because of course you got to have at least 4 Sandowns.
At least to be in the conversation.
Jay Cutler's got 4. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but to even to do the things that he's done in bodybuilding, bro, that's unreal, bro. Like unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, for me, bodybuilding is fun again, because I'm going to date myself. I look back in the 90s where all the top guys were competing, like multiple show. From a fan, I love it. Seeing all the greats, all these guys multiple times and not just win a show and see them at the Olympia. I know from a health standpoint, I don't support it, but just from a fan standpoint, I love it.
Yeah, most definitely. It is cool to see, guys like Derek, who arguably right now is one of, if not the greatest bodybuilder right now, speaking competitively, to be doing a show when he really could just be focusing on the Olympia. Like he could literally just, not do nothing and focus on coming in at the Olympia to win that thing again. But he's out here still competing. That is remarkable.
Besides when they took away the point system, didn't they also at that point too take away, like it used to be if you got top 5 at the Olympia, you didn't have to requalify again. Then they changed it to just top 2, didn't they?
I can't remember what that is, but I think that, but once you win it, that's your forever qualification.
Yeah. And Chris, I think it's top 3 now. I think this time it's top 3 from Olympia. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, so that right there is cool, because then you've got like 2 guys in the top 5 that now we have to requalify.
Yeah.
So
from
a business standpoint, you got a lot bigger names, doing all these other shows besides like the big ones.
Yeah.
And then now with the prize money being, drastically increased, now people are like, well, I'm going to do this show because I want to get paid.
Yeah.
And then just doing that alone helps bring more people to watch the show. It's a big draw for every single show venue.
And Derek took somebody's qualification. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, he came in and said, I'm going to take that. That's one less competitor I got to deal with at the Olympia.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's dope. Like,
for sure.
So I got a question for Mike and Doug, if you don't mind. Since Chris opened the door with prize money, since all the prize money is going up, would you rather see it all go to first place, or maybe get it sprinkled a little bit towards the all the placings?
I would sprinkle it 1 through 5, and whenever you can, at least 1 through 3 for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I like the sprinkle idea. I know you can't sprinkle it down to every competitor, but yeah, like Doug said, 5, maybe through 7 or 8. Even if it's just a little money. I don't
or
know, just
sponsorship,
yeah,
you know.
I mean, with that right there, I mean, I'm not a pro, but I know that if I was a pro and I was doing that, it still incentivizes people to compete in the show. And then if you're a decent name in the sport, like it's a win-win for everyone, except maybe like
Mhm,
the competitor's health. You know what I mean?
yeah,
mhm.
yeah. Um, what did you guys think about the 3rd and 4th spot, Martin and Bonac? I know some people said they could have swapped. They had
Yeah,
Bonac
they could
in
have
there.
swapped, but I think Marty was just sweating
Mm,
like crazy on stage. Not
Are you
sure.
still over? You
He
think?
was Nah, I don't think he spilled over, but he was just sweating. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like they was working him, bro. Like, you understand? Like they was working him up there on posing, and it was hot as fuck on that stage, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was hot. So, I don't know if that had anything to do with it. But I mean, Bonak's he's a legend. He's
yeah.
like so this is bodybuilding. He show up, he's in the first call out. Like
Mm,
it's not even there's one call out gone. You know what I'm saying? Like when you a pro, that's how you got to start looking at shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the tiers of bodybuilders and like Nick is too. Derek show up, oh that's one out.
yeah,
Nick show up, oh, that's two. It don't matter what fucking show they pick, they're in the first fucking call out. You know what I'm saying? So, you could, yeah, it's like with anything, you can flip a coin. It could have went either way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know what impresses me a lot about Bonac is a few years ago, his body almost looked like just tired and beat up, and then he was almost on the decline. And then all of a sudden, now he's just like
remember he
more.
gave himself a break. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like sometimes, and I'm probably gonna do that myself after this year is give myself a year off. Terrence did it. You know what I'm saying? My only fear and worry about taking a year off is every year you don't compete, you're 1 year removed, and it's like you gotta have the switch gotta always be on. Like, you
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like it's gotta you have to mentally be in a place where you can understand that you just need to be patient and consistent, and it's gonna be a pain in the ass because waiting 2 years to get back on stage can be a long time.
So
Oh,
Dougie,
I
when
know.
you
I'm not competing this year, and I'll be honest, I'm struggling with that right now. You
Yeah,
know,
it's a
I
mental battle. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, yes,
so Dougie, when you do Japan, you gonna officially close 212 after Japan and go fully open in the future?
yeah,
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
yeah. So of course, um, I need the feedback I got. Hamstrings and glutes need to get bigger. Of course, my arms overall size, but it ain't like I need to get like super huge. I could be competitive. I feel like if I can step on stage above 225 and look sharp, I can be competitive. And I'm the
okay,
type of person that I'll go do a show and fucking I'll go in another country and do a show just to go experience the culture somewhere else. Hopefully go over there, win some money, an Olympia qualification, and get to enjoy the city. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. Because getting to meet people from other countries is super dope. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't wait to be able to go to another country and hit up another bodybuilders and work out. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And go experience, the city, outside of the United States. You know what I'm saying? What it's like in other parts of the world. But bodybuilding is that common denominator for people.
Yep.
I can agree with that. I mean, I haven't been out of the country a crazy amount, but I've been, you know, a lot of other places and all over the United States for bodybuilding when it comes to like going to events or whatever it is and competitions. So you get to travel and you get to meet a whole bunch of people. And, you know, that's one aspect of it I truly love. I enjoy it.
Universal language.
Mhm.
The 5 and 6 spot, we had Crizzo in Leandro. Now, I am so impressed with this Leandro Perez.
He's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him in the gym this past week. He's definitely well put together.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's a pretty powerful physique too. Good shape.
Yeah, good shape. Definitely good shape.
You know who he kind of reminds me of is like a young Evan Centopani.
I can see that. I get it. Just
That's
like
kind of-
structurally.
Structurally,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Hold up.
Crizzo looked great. Crizzo looked great from the front, but goddamn, he needs some glutes, bro.
You know what's funny? I saw that too, like being on stage. He's very, very big, but he lacks density in his legs.
Yeah.
And his glutes. Like his
I mean,
legs.
his back still needs to come up and be better, but man, like that dude got no ass.
Yeah, but his arms and shoulders and his forearms, he looks like fucking Popeye.
He probably has like, in my opinion, he's probably got like the second best arms ever.
Yeah, his arms are
behind Lee Priest.
Freaky. Yeah, his arms are freaky, bro.
I don't know if he's working with a posing coach, but I might suggest it. You know, just there's some shaking, and then he doesn't quite know how to open up on his back shots.
Man, some guys honestly at this level don't even really care about posing like that. Like it would help, but I noticed that a lot of these guys really they feel like if they got the muscle,
it doesn't
you know, but like this is what I don't understand, right? Like posing is one of those variables that an athlete can easily control. And regardless if you're a pro or not, I mean, and actually, sorry, not regardless, but especially at the pro level, like why wouldn't you want to present your physique in the best possible way? I mean, here's the thing. You know, if his posing was like 100% perfect, like was he gonna beat Bonac and get in a full place? Probably not. But you know, you've definitely seen some things at different times. Like, you know, there was time when Nick Walker, when he was coming up, like they said he needed to work on some of his posing, and then he tweaked it, and all of a sudden it changed his whole entire look. You know, even just by those little tiny spacing and stuff, or how you put your leg placement, or how you do hand placement, or whatever, that could literally make you look another 10 pounds heavier on stage.
Yeah.
And you know, like I can see why bodybuilders won't do it, but I mean, I just think that if you're gonna be on that pro stage, like do everything that a professional should be doing.
I agree with you 1000%. You know what I'm saying? But it's like from being around as long as I have now, and then in the pro ranks, listening to the pro judges when everybody's talking. At the end of the day, especially in the open, posing can help, but if you got the muscle, it ain't really going, I don't want to say give you an edge, but you know, somebody like Crizzo, when you see him in person, bro, he just looks freaky. You know what I'm saying? Like now, if he took some posing help, it would definitely help him. I believe it would. He'd be able to present his package better. But I know just some guys are just like,
bro, Crizzo to me looks like he was made in a fucking lab, bro.
Yeah, like some guys could care less.
You don't even look like a real human being. Something's just wrong with the way that you look.
It was like it's like build a bodybuilder workshop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like just body parts that got like stuck together on this fucking guy.
He does look like an AI creation. Like if you said AI, make the freakiest bodybuilder.
Yeah,
like
he looks like he could be like a very large framed like Tekken character.
Yeah.
You know? Just like
Cito said in RX Muscle that he has a pinhead, which makes him look even bigger.
Yeah,
for sure.
Where would you guys have had Big Vito? Vito would
I was about to ask that. I'd probably have him in third, bro.
He's another one who don't speak English. So I ended up seeing him when I was walking in. He speaks no English, slightly. He could understand me a little bit. I was showing him where the event was. He was cool as hell, man. Took a selfie with me and everything.
Yes.
I don't think Vito would have been in third. I think Vito probably would. Do you think Vito would have beat Bonac? I don't think he would have.
I think he could have. Dude, I think Bonac. I think he's coming in good shape, and he's really like his peaks have been great, but like there's certain shots, dude. Like good Vito would have annihilated him in a front double. I mean, he annihilates everybody, but like Bonac's arms are small. He has no arms, and his waist is thick, and so like he's super thick. Overall.
Yeah, that's the one thing that makes Bonac look a little. I don't want to say off, but yeah,
it's just it doesn't flow like it used to. It's the age, bro. It's just the age. Like when his arms used to be full as hell, and he was thick everywhere, it worked. But now that like the waist is still what it is, and the arm size and even the legs a little bit are like flatter and not as bursting full as they used to be. I just think good Vito, like Bonac's still going to beat him in some shots. He probably would have been fourth. Martin probably would still beat him. He probably would beat Bonac would probably beat him in some shots, but I think good Vito would just be like, I don't know, like the shape overall and the fullness everywhere. If he came in condition like he did, I mean, he was in pretty good shape at that Arnold. I think he would have beat. If he came with that Arnold look, I think he would have beat that Bonac look. First year.
Well, so do you think because this Leandro was better than that Arnold, but do you think this Leandro would have beaten that?
No, I think at that Arnold, I met this. I told you, I like that Leandro dude a lot. He's a nice guy. I met him at the gym, and I love his physique, but he's just not in shape. I mean, he's in shape, but like I told you, like relative to this level, like he's not standing up there with some of these other guys. And this was a better version of him. But at that Arnold, it was, in my opinion, I mean, obviously I just saw pictures, but it was very clear, like Vito and then second place.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think he was that close to beating good Vito really at all at that show.
No, I agree.
There was still a lot of space between him and Leandro. So at this show, it probably still would have been. Leandro came sixth?
Sixth, yeah.
Like I think if he was a little bit better, he could have pushed Crizzo for sure. For fifth, I think he has the ability to beat someone like Crizzo. He has the physique too, especially with like the holes that Crizzo has. He's just got like Leandro doesn't have a lot of holes. Crizzo's got a ton of holes.
Yeah, if you add good Vito back in there, the lineup is way crazier.
That's what I'm saying. I think he would have been right in there with Martin and Bonac for sure.
I think we did our original picks. I think I had good Vito in fourth, and I think I had Bonac in fifth, and then I think I had Crizzo in sixth. So that's probably how it would have played out, honestly.
Yeah, I think I could see them calling out good Vito over Bonac if Vito shows up.
Good Vito beats everyone with maybe Derek, but he pretty much beats everyone in the front double bicep.
Yeah.
Like his front double bicep is just retarded.
Yeah,
it's in
good shape.
But he's another guy. He doesn't have the issues of posing that Crizzo has, where it's like he doesn't know what he's doing. But I don't like the way good Vito poses either. It's weird. Like I don't like I don't know. It's something about like his like demeanor on stage is weird to me.
Yeah, some of them look a little strange.
Yeah.
Doug, how did you have a good turnout like for people showing up to support? Was it
loud? Man, that was cool. There was people that, it's interesting. There's a lot of people in the Pittsburgh area like that are very familiar with bodybuilding and like in a sense of like they understand it and they're familiar with it, but there was a lot of people that didn't know I was a pro, but they see me all the time and they see me working out and they was like, oh, you was up on stage with them, and I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like it was a humbling experience from a lot of people, you know what I mean? Because I don't, I just love bodybuilding, you know what I mean? I don't walk around beating my chest and trying to like, act like I'm some, bizarre figure or anything like that, man. So it's always humbling when people I see all the time speak and then, they're like surprised, like yo, you really compete. I'm like, it was dope, but there was definitely a lot of people that showed up. You know what I'm saying? Last time I was able to get on stage in Pittsburgh was 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it was a treat, man. It was dope.
Did you have a meal out, or was it just back on diet for
No, I
New
was
York?
back on diet, bro. Like, New York Saturday. So for me, it was until it's funny, man. Like, I didn't even want anything to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, to the point where like it's interesting how you can shut it on and shut it off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have like a lot of times when I do a prep, I'm ready for it to be over. You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel like that. Like, I feel like I'm just getting started. So it was
That's good.
easy to not even want anything, like a free meal or anything like that. It's like, because technically we wasn't peaking for this week. You know what I'm saying? Like, we peaking for this week for the New
Okay.
York. I wanted to see what I look like next to the big mammoth motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it just give me some good momentum going into New York.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you?
So you
Do
guys
they
just-
have 212 at New York? Are you doing the 212?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, most definitely.
Oh hell yeah!
Who's-
Oh, that's
Man,
pretty
what
awesome.
Colossus Ken is showing the fuck up in New York. Let
Yo,
me
I
tell
know.
you, bro. The New York is gonna. Oh, so now if
Well, now
Nick's
Nick
doing
does
the
it,
New
yeah.
York, you got Nick, you got Colossus Ken, and then whoever the fuck else is showing the fuck
Regan's
up. trying to get-
supposed to be doing it, right?
I think he pulled out.
He did.
Yeah.
Damn.
I know he was originally, but I haven't heard anything, so that makes sense.
Yeah. So,
Wait, Doug, you know anyone else is doing the 212 in New York?
No, not that I know of. I really don't even be trying to look for real.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
oh, shit.
Did you guys see the like guest posing at the Pittsburgh with Keon posing next to Samson?
I just heard about
Man,
it.
look, I'm telling y'all, this is Keon's last year in the 212. He is
Dude,
not doing it no more.
Keon's
after
front
this
double
year.
bicep. Keon's front double bicep next to Samson, like he blew Samson away. Like
Yeah.
Derek is proving that size matters, but also your structure with your size matters. Like Derek's not. I don't want to say he's not big because I'm not trying to diminish the fact that he is a previous Mr. Olympia, but he's like him standing next to Samson. He's not a big guy. Like Samson is fucking huge. You know what I'm saying? And then when you see Keon standing next to him, you're like, damn, he's huge, but goddamn, Keon looks fucking good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just can't deny some people.
For sure.
Dude, a lot of bro. I mean, it sucks being like. I mean, I'm tall for bodybuilding. I'm 5'11", just under 6 foot. But like, all these guys at the top now are fucking short, bro.
Dog.
All. I mean, even like Nick, Derek, Martin, Bonac, Chris was the only tall dude. Leandro's close to my height.
Growing up playing basketball, I always wanted to be like 6'3". I was like,
yeah,
damn,
for sure.
I wish I was 6'3". Now I am 5'10", and all I wish is I was like 5'7".
Bro, I'm the only one. I'm the oldest of like my three brothers, and I'm the only one in my family that's under 6 feet tall by like an inch, right? So I've been shit on for it for years.
That's why you guys have to be like Luke. You're pushing to try to be as big as you can. You have so much more of a frame. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why when you guys do that though, you look better.
Well, that's why Samson
you're
is
bigger.
Mr. Olympia,
you know what I'm saying? Like now, not taking anything away from Keon, but Samson is very impressive because he's not short. So to look like him and be tall, that's rare.
Well, when you look like Samson and you've got that tinier waist that he has, but then you have those crazy arms, those big ass legs. Like when he spreads out, when he hits poses, he just takes up so much space.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when Ronnie was what 5'11", Ronnie Coleman was like 5'11".
Yeah.
You know, he hits poses and he just takes up like half the damn stage.
I will say, I think in order for there to be another like like Rain type Mr. Olympia, it's going to have to be a taller guy. I feel like.
I think so. I agree with that.
Because I feel like when you get that like height, structure, and size and everything, that's where it becomes like dominance. Like Dorian Yates was taller, Ronnie was taller, Jay's like 5'9".
But do you think those days will ever come back? Where
it's hard because it just takes
at least
so
4 in
much
a row.
time. It takes. I mean, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
who
right now can you say you see being able to win at least 4 in a row? Not just 4.
This is open. This is
in the open, 4 in a row. At least.
This is a super hypothetical. Like, this is like if this guy was like 5 different things. But if Andrew was like 28 and was able to put on another like 20 pounds of muscle, then someone like him. Because he's got,
I agree with that. Yeah,
he's got that because he is older, and I just don't.
But that's what I mean. Like, no hypotheticals.
Yeah, I know.
Right now, who right now can you see ripping off 4 in a row?
Nobody. But you know what's so weird?
Ain't that crazy?
You know what's so weird though? This is the first time that's ever really been the case in like the history.
Exactly.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's crazy that we can't even see, because right now it's in Samson's hands, right? And he could win another one.
He just lost to fucking Arnold, bro.
Yeah, but that don't mean he can't win.
I know, but like that's what I'm saying is like in previous like eras, whatever you want to call it. At the best, there's been like a 1-2, like Kai and Phil, or like Jay and Ronnie. There's never been like, yo, we're about to go to the Olympia. There's 5 heads that could win it.
Yeah,
and like for real win it, like not like just a narrative.
Yeah,
like when Phil was competing, when Ronnie was competing, it was like who's battling out for second.
Yeah, and then it was like a very clear like, oh, like okay, Ronnie passes it to Jay, Jay passes it to Phil. And then no one's winning for the next 7 fucking years.
Yeah.
Right. And since 2018 or whatever it was when Phil lost, who knows who can win?
Has anybody even repeated?
Ramy did, but then the next year everyone was like, oh, he's gonna win for sure. And he took 5th, though. Like he went from first.
Dude, I'll be honest, I never liked Big Ramy's physique. I think
that guy got the fucking shafted by bodybuilding like narratives and shit. I think he has a great physique, and like people like I think when you look back on it, obviously preference. If you don't like the way he looked, that's different. But like, I think his aesthetics were good. I think he's got a small waist. Obviously, his quads are ridiculous to the point where it was like a flaw. They were too big. But like his taper was crazy. His back was good. The only thing was like people like were so hard on him about condition, especially because he brought that look in New York in like 2014 or whatever it was, and he never really matched it.
That was his major knock, conditioning.
Yeah,
he always had the size.
People would get all hype on him, and then when he wouldn't bring something that was comparable to that 2014 New York look, he would get fucking bashed. And like, bro, I don't think people ever really I mean, that motherfucker was like 305 peeled on the stage.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Like, I don't think people ever really gave him the credit. And then even when he won, and he did come in shape, like 2020, the 2021 Olympia that he won. It was like a so-so look. But if you look back on pictures of him from 2020, like, dude, that was nasty, bro. And like no one really even gave him his props. They were more just kind of like, oh, no one else really showed up kind of thing.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, as of right now in bodybuilding, there isn't one person anybody can say can rip off at least the next 4.
No way. No.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that is a good thing for bodybuilding at this point. Like, at this point, nobody knows who's going to win this year's Olympia.
Well, yeah, just to add on to that, Doug, it's like when you look at the top 5 or whatever, it's like, okay, like how much better can Derek get with his frame? Yeah. How much bigger or better can Nick Walker get with his frame?
Well, that's the thing, yeah.
How much can Samson get with his frame because he's older too? How much better can Andrew Jack get? The only one that is still extremely young out of all them, for the most part, is Martin.
Yeah.
And if Martin can keep his structure and keep adding in the right spots, like he could be one of those guys in the next couple of years that could win a couple.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing about like that's the whole. Obviously, we've had this conversation before, just about you know, being shorter or taller or whatever. It's just like a guy, like guys like Nick, Derek, etc. Like you fill that physique out way quicker, but then like your ceiling's lower. Right?
Exactly. Oh yeah.
Because it's like, sure, you can get to the top. Like I made this comment a little while ago. Like it's very rare you see a guy 5'10" and up that's turning pro at 25 years old.
Yeah.
The guys that are turning pro at 25 years old are 5'7". You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like no one's 6 foot tall getting a pro card at like 24 because it's just not enough time to build a physique. So like the tough part is yeah, you'll build a physique quicker and get to the top of the game quicker with a smaller frame, shorter stature, whatever. But then like I made comments about Nick before or about Hadi before, like where do you really improve? You know what I'm saying? Like it's when you talk about peaks, obviously that's different. But as far as like improving your physique, there's really only two things in bodybuilding you can control, and that's building muscle and getting peeled, right? I mean, obviously the nuances, posing, different stuff like that. But like as far as changing the way your physique is, you really can only control building more tissue or getting in better shape. And if you've already been inside out peeled and you're fucking 5'3" and you're 250 on stage, like you can't build more muscle, right? So where do you go? And that's like the problem. That's why when all these short guys are at the top of the game, there's never going to be somebody that's dominant enough that runs away with it for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
But like, then again, like, I don't know if people got the like stick-to-itiveness and the wherewithal to be 6 feet tall and spend 15 years trying to get to the top. You know what I mean?
Well, also keep this in mind too, because I said this to somebody yesterday. I can't even remember. You got to think about like longevity is hard too. Like how long can you do this for?
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like how long do you want to do this for?
And then I've talked about this too, but like if you're a bigger guy, like I'm 5'11", just under 6 foot. Like if I want to turn pro, I got to be close to 245, 250 on stage probably. If I want to be a good pro, I got to be another 20 pounds heavier. And that's like 270.
I was just gonna say that. I was just gonna say, so like you know the kid Giovanni,
yeah,
the lad. So like yeah, he go I think second at nationals and the super heavy, and now he's huge.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy quads, crazy waist, but now for him to be dominant in the open class, he's gonna have another 20 pounds heavier. 20, and when like you guys that are watching, like if you think of 20 pounds of muscle, like I always use this analogy, like go to the supermarket, look at 20 pounds of steak, lean steak. And think of that slapped on your body. Like people say, oh, it's 20 pounds. It's not a lot. 20 pounds of solid muscle is a shit ton.
Yeah, someone I always look at too that puts it into perspective for me is like Sergio Oliva, bro. Like he's about my height. That motherfucker is literally 300 pounds on stage and he looks undersized.
Yeah.
He's literally
because he's like long, like his limbs
go out to fucking here and shit. So there's all this space he's got to fill in, and his back's a little like high, with his lats insert high, whatever. But like,
he's big as fuck.
300 fuck ass pounds on
he's
stage.
Big as fuck. I've seen him in person a couple of times.
That's a big ass dude. Like, and then like I was getting at the problem with like Doug was talking about longevity. When you're a bigger body, to build that tissue requires more food, more drugs, more body weight. Right? Which all three of those are fucking taking years off your life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm an amateur as fuck and I'm like 300 pounds. Like this shit is hard as hell. To think that I'm going to have to be, I'm 27. To think I'm going to have to be at 33, 34 years old, 320, 330, 3 something in my, like that's fucking, bro, what the fuck am I going to do?
And I don't think people understand how mentally grinding that can be. If it's taking you,
I can't function like a normal human being at all.
If it's taking you like, let's say like the average bodybuilder 7 to 10 years to get to that pro level, getting up to a 260 lean on stage, and then you're not competitive till 280. Like I love bodybuilding as much as the next person, but like to think that like, okay, I need another 20 more fucking pounds before I'm even sniffing a first call out.
Yeah, when you see somebody like Nick Walker walking in posing trunks, you're like, what the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Like, what are you? You're not human.
That's why they call him the mutant.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you guys know this. Videos and pictures do y'all no justice. You know what I'm saying? Like, people see you, they see pictures and like, oh, you look. It's like, no, when you see it in person and you see muscle fibers, you see separation, you see depth in lines. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. It's just like, I don't know. I mean, me and Mike have had conversations too. Like, bro, there's countless times even now I'll be looking at myself like, what the fuck am I doing this for, bro?
100%.
And like,
I made a video about that today.
I actually had this conversation with myself about 4 days ago. I was.
no, I'm pretty sure we all have it like more frequently than we like to admit.
I made a video about it today. I just didn't chop it up yet.
Suck.
Yeah, bro. Like for real. Like, and you doing all this shit, and I'm out here like, dude, I would love to just like at nighttime, I would love to go to sleep when I'm tired, bro. I would love to be tired and go to bed and not have to be fucking shoving food down at fucking 2 a.m. I would love that, bro. I would love to go to sleep and not put a fucking machine on my face. That would be great, bro. What am I doing? Like to be an amateur, like it's crazy. But like, and then like Mike says, you do all this. Let's say I turn pro within the next couple of years or something. Hopefully, whatever happens. Like, let's say this year I'm like 240, 245 on stage. I gotta be another 20. I gotta put on another 20, 30 pounds. And then like the closer you get, obviously, like to the top of the mountain, like the harder it gets to climb it, bro. So like 20 pounds going from 200 to 220 is not like 20 pounds going from 250 to 270.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like that's
I have a question. I actually have a question for you guys. Because I have seen this happen many times over the years, right? You see a person that has a great physique and they turn pro.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like they do their pro debut or whatever, and like they look dramatically different. Like Colossal Ken, for example, how he looked when he won his pro card and like what he's looking at now. You know, so like what do you think that difference is when people turn pro? Like a lot of these guys that turn pro and all of a sudden they morph and like you're like, okay, like is that food? Is that different coaching? Is that drugs?
No, for him it's 2-part. And I think it's probably the same for a lot of these guys. Bro, Ken didn't start juicing until 2020.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, like, I'm sure he just switched some things up, tried some things, maybe bumped the GH. He took a year off. But you partner that with, like, he's got a great work ethic and great genetics. Like, he gets his shit done. He trains hard. He's on his shit.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he's Nigerian.
He is. So, he's one of them Nigerian motherfuckers, bro.
I don't know what the fuck is in their genes,
bro.
Them motherfuckers are hyper responders.
Yeah. So I'm sure he might have taken a dose up here and there a little bit. He took a year off of just growing, stayed on his shit, and you partner that with, like I said, a work ethic and genetics that he has. It's just like a recipe for fucking mutation.
Yeah, because he also got that tiny waist. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just real quick, man, I heard this quote yesterday. I was going to use it as a caption. The cool part in all of this that we're talking about and understanding bodybuilding, even though it's difficult, is it's a never-ending journey of self-improvement. You know what I'm saying?
I say that all the time.
And that's pretty much what we're doing with bodybuilding, you know, and it's self-improvement. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we can compare ourselves to other people and things like that. But as long as, you know, you're doing it for the right reasons and you're getting that self-improvement, man, that's all that matters. And that's what makes it tough, right? Suffering, like, because nobody's making us do this. Like, this is a choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, if all of us wanted to right now, we could go down the street, buy some McDonald's and just eat fucking McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? If we want to, but we're deciding not to do things like that because for us, it's just a bigger purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Or like if you just wake up one morning, you eat breakfast, and you're just like, you know what? I'm not fucking hungry. I don't want to eat anything.
Yeah.
And then just you go out and do whatever.
Yeah.
Bro, I say that all the time because literally nobody is stopping you, right? Like literally, like, and I hate when I see people. I was just talking to my girl about it. There's one of her friends, whatever. Like, there's people, I've had buddies of mine, same thing. Like that, they want to be a bodybuilder so bad, and they want to do a show so bad that they prep. But it's really because they just want to call themselves wanting to be a part of a clique or a crew or whatever. And all they do is fucking complain and complain and complain and bitch. And like they'll cheat on their diet, but they'll have an excuse. Or it's just like no one's forcing you. Go eat a fucking burger and be a jackie that goes to the gym, bro. I respect that way more, knowing your place, than someone who like tries so hard to be this thing that they're not, and then is like kind of a bitch about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to hear like, oh, I binged out on fucking da 3 weeks out, bro. In no world would I ever eat a fucking candy bar 3 weeks from the competition.
No.
I don't give a fuck what's going on. I don't care how hungry I am. That shit is not happening, right?
Yeah.
So
And
like,
it's a choice, and it's bad choice.
exactly.
Because if I wanted to, I could.
Like I said, I was just having this conversation with my girl earlier. I was like, that she competes at a very high level too. Like, y'all know her. Like, you have to be a little fucked up to, like I was saying, like when you get close to a show, you feel like death. Like you don't want to you don't want to fucking open your mouth to talk to nobody about nothing, right? But like,
just getting dressed is a pain in the ass in the morning,
bro. If I didn't feel like that, I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah.
I'll be like, what's wrong? Like, why don't I feel like that?
And that's what I talked about in my video. The suffering that you have to go through as a bodybuilder isn't like a necessary pain suffering. It's a suffering of emotional and your feelings, right? Because little shit happens, and that's what some people do. Some fuck up happens, and they're like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna eat all this candy, or I'm gonna eat this bag of chips." You know what I'm saying? And then 3 days go by, they didn't ate 4 bags of chips. They didn't ate fucking
and then they want to get back into prep.
Fucking
like,
candy,
what the fuck are you doing?
and it's because they lack that emotional feeling of that little 5-6 minutes or whatever the fuck went by, you know. And it's like that's the suffering part for.
But that's the thing. That's the thing too, Doug. That ties back to what you were saying about doing it like for yourself, right? Because you're only gonna be successful in this. In successful is like a relative term. Like you're only gonna be able to complete a prep even if you really want it just for you. You know what I'm saying? Like I was having this conversation with a client that hired me a few months ago, and he's getting ready for a show in September. And his last show was like 2 years ago, and he was like, he called me the other night after he worked out. And he was telling me like, bro, it feels so different this time around because previous years, like he was kind of doing it. He admitted like I was doing it for like attention, really. You know what I'm saying? I wanted something cool. I loved going to the gym, but like I kind of wanted to like have something exciting to do, and like I liked the attention, like whether it was from females or people in the gym or whatever. But he was like, I didn't enjoy it. You know what I mean? He was like, I was cheating on my diet. It didn't feel as fulfilling. He was like, obviously it was a long way to the show, but he's like, my mindset is different this time. He's got a fiance. He's like very like settled into his life and where he's at. And he was like, this feels like the way it should have felt. You know what I'm saying? Because he's like, there's no external reason I'm doing this other than the fact that I want to do it. So like when shit gets hard, I can look at myself in the mirror and say like, yeah, it's hard because I'm actively choosing this. You know what I mean? Like you make the decision every day to wake up and do cardio and eat your meals and go to the gym and take your drugs and whatever else you have to fucking do that nobody wants to do. But like, if it's rewarding enough for you, then it's worth it.
I also don't think enough people, like sometimes you take punches on the chin, right? Like, and it's really a lot of people fold. Doug, you're a fucking great example. You just didn't have power for a fucking week before you stepped on stage. You know how many people would have just ducked out? They would have been like, nah, I don't have power. I can't keep my food cold. I can't do my cardio. I can't.
And see, for me, the way my brain works, that would have been too easy to do. I can't do it.
I said the same fucking thing, bro.
Yeah.
Can't do it. I got to figure it out. That's how my mind works. I just got to figure it out.
Like when I told Doug too, I think I told you all this before. Like when I lost my house in 2022, 3 weeks before my show, I didn't even have a place to sleep. I had no food. I had no drugs. I had no clothes. I have a toothbrush. And I was like, there's no way. Like it was almost like I'm a competitive person, right? So it was almost like a challenge to me. Like nobody else could do this shit. Even if I didn't win the show and I looked like shit, it was more just like, I bet you nobody else would do this shit.
Yeah.
So like I just wanted to. Like even if I took last place, I would have been like, yeah, but I took last place without a home, motherfucker. So like that's just how like same thing, like my mind works. And I think we're all wired kind of similarly. Whereas people who just like, I think I told y'all this too before, like there was a kid from my hometown. I had a client competing against him, and it was like 2 weeks before a show, local show in Connecticut, and kid got in a fender bender, and he didn't even get hurt, but like his car had to go to the shop. So he said he didn't have a ride, so he pulled out. I said, bro,
kidding me?
That is the like, that's like literally looking to find whatever excuse you could manifest and bullshit yourself to get out of this competition.
That's
And
crazy.
like,
Dude,
I'm just like, it's two different types of people, man.
Yeah.
My first NPC show back in 2009, I was doing my last leg workout before the show, and I was doing Smith machine front squats. And this kid took 2 plates off of whatever he was using, and he put 2 plates on one side of my Smith machine. So instead of being like, having like 225, 2 plates on each side, there was one side that had 4 plates. I didn't realize that. So I unrack it, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, what? And I went down, and I came up, and I slipped a disc in my back, and I collapsed 10 days out. 10 days out. And when I saw the plates on the thing, I was like, who the fuck did that? And this kid was like, oh, sorry, bro. And I'm like, I'm going to punch you in the face as soon as I can walk. And luckily I had my uncle that was a physical therapist. He helped do a little manipulation and put everything back into place. So I was fine. But like, I was over there, oh yeah, slipped a disc 10 days out,
Yeah.
And
that was your first show too.
That was, and then even when I was doing nationals in 23, I was stretching and dislocated my SI joint and collapsed and couldn't walk. I literally could not walk for 3 or 4 days. Ashlyn had to pick me up and help carry me to the bathroom to like take a shit, which doing that was the most difficult task. And I was just like, all right, I'm still going to get better and finish the show. I took a week off. I couldn't train for a week, still ate my food, and then still got on stage. And that was my best, my personal best at the time in 23.
Yeah, there's always
it's just one of those. It's just one of those things. Like, it's just a mindset thing that I'm saying. Like, when you get into it, like whatever, like we're wired different. Like I said, like us, you don't have that option to like not do it is not an option. It's like, how will I do it? Like, even if like, okay, like for example, the morning that I did get kicked out of my house, of course I wasn't able to do fasted cardio that day, right? So I missed cardio, but like that was the only day I missed cardio. You know what I mean? So like obviously sometimes shit's gonna happen where like Chris, I'm sure the rest of that leg workout was in the gutter, right? Like
I couldn't train. I couldn't even train the rest of that leg workout.
Exactly.
I had to crawl my ass home.
Exactly. So like there's gonna be times where shit happens and it's not as ideal or as optimal as you had wanted it to be, but you still find a way to get it done.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world, man. That's what I always say, man. There's always gonna be some fuck shit going on. Fuck shit happens when you ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you might as well do something. You know what I mean, and then figure out how to deal with the fuck shit.
Yeah, bro.
Sure.
I always like to say pressure will fucking burst pipes, but when it comes to pressure, like I always just harden the fuck up.
Yeah, it also makes diamonds.
Exactly. And the whole thing, like going back to what you guys are saying, like the whole suffering, I don't actually like to use the word suffering because in my personal opinion, that's a mindset. Suffering is kind of an optional part. It's like if you feel like you're suffering, then that's one thing. I always like to say like, oh, it's time to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And it would be like, when I was feeling depleted and feeling like death, I'm just like, fuck yeah, let's go. It's just you're just one day closer to just accomplishing what your goal is.
Yeah, that's definitely.
It's just big, like a big thing for me when I get in prep too is just like understanding like perspective, bro. Because like I've even noticed it like sometimes like when I'm training clients in person, I got a lot of clients that are just regular gen pop lifestyle, like middle-aged people, right? And even in prep, like I do eat 7 meals a day, right? So I'm out here bitching how hungry and tired I am, and they're like, "You're always eating," because I still eat every hour and a half, 2 hours. It's just tilapia and no carbs, right? But like I still get to eat 7 fucking meals a day. You know what I mean? Like I'm not out here really like in the trenches with nothing. I'm like choosing to get to do a fucking posing competition, a muscle competition, and I got to eat a little bit different food, but I still got a roof over my head. I still get to go train. I still get to eat 7 fucking times a day. And just like changing your perspective a little bit can make a big difference. And like not thinking about like, of course, we all get hungry. We all want to eat after competitions and whatever. Yeah. But like if all you think about is like the food, then like
you ain't thinking about
winning, man. You ain't gonna make it.
Yeah, if you think about food, you ain't thinking about winning.
Exactly.
I don't ever really care, Yeah. When it comes to that.
It does get to a point where it's like I never got that when I'd have clients like posting like cinnamon rolls or like all this stuff they're gonna eat after show, and it's like, dude, like that food is going to taste exactly the fucking same it always does. It's just right now your body, your mind is trying to get you to eat that, so it's making it seem so much better than it really is.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like it's going to fucking taste the same regardless. And then you know what? You'll be in a full blown off season. You'll take one bite of a cinnamon roll or a cookie, and you're like, I don't even want this.
Yeah, that's me right now. But don't get it twisted. I sound like a hard ass, bro. I like to eat. So like after a show, bro, I'm gonna go crazy, bro. And like
I mean, most definitely whenever it's warranted, you know what I'm saying? You definitely chow down.
Like I know like whatever I'm saying, blah 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 blah, but like I will have a plan like for that Sunday after a show. Like I'm gonna hit this diner, I'm gonna hit this spot too.
Yeah.
So, like,
yeah.
I am doing a little bit of research. Like
Yeah.
when I went out to fucking LA for USA's, like bro, trust me, I had some restaurants lined up in the notes section and everything.
Absolutely.
As you should, yeah.
But,
I had a whole itinerary.
Yeah, but my point is ain't no way I'm eating a bite of that shit before I get on stage.
No, it just tastes so much. It tastes so much better. I will say that food tastes so much better after like even if you don't win, even if you like you've surpassed your previous level, you know, and it's just like you get to eat that and you're like, okay, like I earned this, and people look at you and say, you can eat that whenever you want. It's like, no,
you don't understand for real, like
it's discipline, like, you know.
Yeah, no, that's why most people don't understand. They think we're weird. They think we're gay. They think, you know, they don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's more of a self-fulfillment thing. You know, it's like, I get to do this. You know, I don't have to do this.
I was just going to talk about that, Doug. So back in 23, when I finally got that like actual proper stage conditioning for the first time, like when you first hit that level of conditioning, like there is a level of fatigue that you experience that you've never felt before. And there was at one point I'm like, I'll get up and do fasted cardio, but I'll bitch about it the entire time. Like, fuck this cardio. Then you go and you do it, you know. And then Ashlyn one time got pissed and was like, she's like, listen, you're the one choosing to do this. She's like, change your mindset. And she had a nice talk with me, and she was like, glass half full mentality. Instead of like, I hate cardio, I get to do cardio. I get to be on low carbs. I get to go to the gym. I get to do this, you know? And then for last prep, what I started doing, it's like when I'd be on zero carbs on my rest days, I'd do cardio on my rest days. And then my whole thing was I considered it a business transaction. I am giving up food and energy for better fat loss. And that was kind of how I like tricked myself to kind of just get it done. And then, you know, and you get a super emotional towards the end of prep. I remember toward like the last couple of weeks doing cardio in the morning, I'd just start crying because I was just so excited. It wasn't like because I was sad. I was just so excited that like I finally.
I know the feeling, getting emotional.
When you do that last cardio session, bro, it's like fucking. You see the fucking like gates of heaven open up.
That is the last cardio session, man. That is just like you're
like smiling this. An hour long, you're smiling the whole time. You're like,
oh my god,
bro.
Anybody else when they finish it, like every time I hop off and I'm like, fuck this.
Bro.
Exactly.
I'll look at the machine I've been using like the whole prep, and I'll be like, fuck you, bro.
I literally do that. I was doing that last prep. I'd get off and I'd look at it like side eye, and I just.
Fuck this stupid ass bike, yo. Fuck this.
It's always a good feeling that last
master.
Well, guys, I said this was gonna be a short one tonight.
Yeah, I was about to say it's after 9. I got to get to bed, fellas.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Well, we won't reconvene till after New York next weekend. So, Doug, you know, don't show out.
Appreciate it.
I'm gonna do the damn thing, bud.
I can't wait to see it. I'm excited for 212.
Oh, you're gonna be there, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So,
that's a bet.
Good luck this coming week.
Yes, sir.
I'll be loud in the crowd, baby.
Hell yeah.
That's a bet.
All right, fellas.
All right, fellas. Y'all have a good night.
Have a good one.
Later.
Bye.